Hello, episode 28 of Solar Factory. Before I continue doing the quantum technology tree stuff and building all that stuff I was doing in episodes 27 and 26, I've built a little concrete setup here because of just through there. You can just see that left little tower there. It's got half stuff in it. Let's go and look at it. I've started to use, taking the next logical step of the whole sort of city aesthetic that I've gone for. I've started to use trucks. I thought I'd investigate it to see if it's going to be a potentially better way of moving some of the materials through the factory rather than trying to do the belt runs. And these little arrows on the ground are the paths the tractors take. There's one just at this one here. I've only got three three truck stations. One is here, and it's feeding in iron plate and concrete for use in what's going to be the singularity cell production. Once we have put 1,000 nuclear pasta into phase 5, top right hand corner, we've got 230 to go. We can put another 70 odd, 75 in there, and that'll give us a, so once that's all done, I'll then feed the nuclear pasta, rather than going to storage, will go into this thing in front of us, manufacturer, which is making the singularity cells, which is what is needed to power the teleporters. So yeah, you set up a little truck station and you tilt to unload so that it does. Then you build a tractor, which is me up, and to make it, rather than the trains we've actually got dedicated track to go on, this could go anywhere. That one is unloading concrete by the looks of it. So it's taking concrete from that little concrete factory over there and bringing it to here and just doing a loop. And the loop is exactly that. So those arrows on the ground, it's basically going up this path. So they're going to turn right up this main central sort of cross path. It'll go up the left hand side all the way through. It'll take a left hand, it'll go right when it gets across. The other tractor is just coming across there. I've got its path hidden at the moment. So you come down here. It'll turn right at the end here. It'll go up that right hand path. It'll go around the back of the concrete so that it's only essentially turning left every time, I guess. Eventually it'll turn, well, not always in time, but it'll turn left around the building to be on this side of the street, two-way street, get concrete from here, and then it'll go up the right and go back to where we started. The other tractor is getting iron plate from that big factory in the middle there, back there. I took out a couple of the window panes and put in a truck station, and then did a bit of pathing to re-feed the belts into it to feed that truck station. It's quite efficient. I sort of I've never used it until literally the last hour or so of this session here. So it's sitting there and it's transferring 482 items a minute, which is basically the same sort of speed as a Mark IV belt. So it's pretty good. It's going to be, I think, now that I've sort of had to play with it, I think it'll just form part of what I do to get stuff into the central storage area, which I'll eventually be rebuilding. I have put these barriers up, which are called high barriers, because at one point I was down through here. I've started to work through my old storage stuff down here just to get rid of it, and I was just down at one point and one of the tractors literally fell off the platform. I don't know why or how. It just did. So I sort of, I might just put some platforms up to stop it from doing that, which has thankfully worked. So what I'm doing here is I'm just starting to go through and start using some of these stuff that was in these. I've got rid of. There was a couple of iron ore storages here. Other bits and pieces I've also gone and used. So ultimately this will all disappear. It's just going to take a while to work through it. All of these here are all just storing packaged fuel. I can't remember why I had this built. I think I was using it for the I don't have one on me. Little hover, not the hover pack, the jet pack as a way of moving around. I just made an absolute bucket load of it, and have still got heaps of it. So thankfully, it can be used to power the tractors and the trucks. So when I say tractor, you can actually build a tractor or a truck or an Explorer. Explorer is just a little vehicle you can travel yourself in. It's actually one is over. There's one over there somewhere. I've had built one in the past. I found the tractor. These things are always in the way. I found the truck to be very unwieldy. So I removed one of them and replaced it with a tractor. The only difference between the two is the capacity. So one's got 48, the other one's got 24. In terms of stacks, inventory slots. So it's a little bit limited, I guess, in terms of capacity, but it's not really an issue. So the other part of what I'm doing here is I'm just going through this other. I've deleted that platform that was through there. I've done the 4 lanes, the 4 levels of that for future, and I've just started to fill in the back, fill in all the levels under here to complete this entire setup, which is just going to be a bit boring, a bit grindy. So yeah, I'm just going to do that to get it done. I've sort of done it in bits and pieces, so I'm just finishing it off basically, and then I'll get back to what I was doing with the other part of that factory rebuild. So yeah, come back after I've done all that, and we'll jump back into quantum technology stuff and building the rest of that factory area out. Okay, a little bit of a slight change of plan, but not really. I have completed building all of the foundation platform levels through here, so they're all done. I've also rebuilt this magnetic field generator. What's it called again? Magnetic field generator production. This was over these 2 building blocks areas, building production tower floor plan thingies. So now it's just 2 assemblers because they changed the recipe and removed the batteries from it, I think it was. Yeah, remove batteries from it. Used to be in a manufacturer, now it's in an assembler. So now we've just got 2 minute being made there, which is cool. They go up to the next floor. You still need electromagnetic control rods coming in via a drone. They come in they come from the desert factory. And it needs 2 a minute, and we are getting 2 a minute. There's still an awful lot feel free sitting in here, which is fine. And we've now got, I think, 5 full containers. Yeah, we've got 12, over 12,000 of them sitting in storage, which is cool. What I've also done is, at this end, I've re-jigged a few things and have also put in the sort of the shell of the other new buildings. So we've got concrete, which was at the back there, is now at the front. I've redone the tractor path as well. Still takes concrete over there. But you can see I've started to put in the sort of the maximum height of cable at the back. I think it's then AL limiters in the middle, and then Quickwire at the beginning, at the front here, or is it the other way around? I can't remember what I've done yet. Yes, AL limiters in the middle, sorry. AL limiters there, Quickwire there, and the 8 or 9 floors needed for the cable production. So that's started to replicate what was in the other building. So that is kind of the next goal. We're going to redo all this, so that all of that production is there. We're then going to have to repath everything underneath because cable is used in a couple of places. The main one it's used in is in something over there, I can't remember where. So we'll repath the cable run out of that comes in under here to come in under that new run. AL limiters I don't think go anywhere, so that's probably really easy. And Quickwire I think is just on this area, so that's relatively easy to redo as well. Once we've done that, we will dismantle everything that's over here. Well, at least that's required here. So you can see we've got the... Thankfully, just in a bit of luck, the copper required for the cable comes in just on here, so we don't have to do much with that. And when it comes to Quickwire, which needs Caterham, which is over here, we'll redo this in a way that kind of makes sense. Probably very similar to what we've done over there with those limestone nodes. And then that will basically mean that this sort of setup is kind of complete. Yeah, we'll see. So next thing is to build out this structure for the cable. Redo all the pathing for the copper, etc. Redo all the pathing for the cable, and then do a switch over in which we just actually turn one off and turn the other on, and just let the existing so we'll turn off the production in this tower, but let the rest of it flow through. If that kind of makes sense. I'm not too sure what I'll end up doing with what's at the top here, because at the top we've got what, half a dozen full containers, so they'll have to be moved before this whole building can be dismantled. So I'll figure out what I'm going to do with that. I may sink a lot of it, I'm not too sure, but we'll figure that out later. Then basically rinse and repeat that for the Caterham to Quickwire tower and the AL limiter one. So I'm going to do this tower next. Actually I might do the Quickwire. Quickwire might actually be easier and quicker, because it is just a tower of production, and I think the Quickwire goes... Where does it go? It goes to a bunch of places. AL limiters are high-speed connectors, so I'd have to repath all them. The filters on the right will be really close now, because they'll be in the next sort of row of buildings afterwards. That's obviously going to be moved, but it won't be moved just yet. And that... I'll think about that. You know, I'll do one of these towers next. Okay, so I've built the Caterham setup. Quick review what I've done. I changed it over from a Mark II miner to a Mark III, and it's now outputting 900 a minute. So I've got it through a series of Mark VI belts now. That's it coming in through there. It goes all the way along, as you expect, all the way along here. And because it's coming out as 900 a minute from that miner, I've got it going into 10 smelters, each overclocked to 200%, therefore needing 990 each, so that's 10 times 90 is 900. It's still, manifold is still flying through, picking up, this is saturated, that's getting there, and that's going to be teetering. That's cool. It then goes up into one set of constructors, making which all require 30 each. Looks like I haven't actually confirmed. I sort of have. And that's putting in the. That's that one, and then one side basically goes to one floor, one side goes to the second floor. That's basically doing the same thing. That comes out into there, joins that, goes into there, does a smart split into storage. It also now has a belt run, comes out here, goes down to here, comes out, smart splitter there, which will eventually overflow into the central storage hub when I get around to building it. This one comes to here, and this is actually going to be the new this is the iron fuse, which has still got a bunch of backlogs, so that'll take a while to clear. Along here further, comes out here and comes along to this section, which comes up to here. At the moment it doesn't go any further because that's going to be going to the high-speed connectors. Again, that's just waiting for all the backlog of all that stuff to clear, and that'll get rebuilt or extended. And then along here we go here, and this is going to the current location making AL limiters. But again, we've got excess coming out of there still, because this is still okay. So that's all finished. That's cool. So we still have some Caterham wire, Quickwire being made. Maybe not. That actually might be finished. I'm not too worried about this. So it'll go up there, up there. Now we've got Quickwire coming into there. So that was that one. Let's go check if check the AL limiter, sorry. Right, that's finished too, so get rid of that and just extend that up there. This is going to take a while because there's a crap load in there. It's actually not going to take that long. With only being that many left, I might just do this. Now that we've done all those, back to here and see how this is going. Running 89, so just get out. Okay, so it's got 900 to getting 900. There's no limitation there. That's good. Beautiful. Okay, why is this already backed up? Okay, I'm missing something here. What am I missing? Ah, yeah, okay. That's got to join that. Put the efficiency checker on there. That should say, if I've got my maths right, 150 by 5. 150 times 5, 750 times 2, so we should be getting 1500 a minute. Which if we are, it's going to be even too much for a Mark 6 build. Yes, I have, okay. So okay, I've overdone it. Okay. So let's just put that in. That through the middle. Actually, I overdid that. Okay, I've got to try and scale it back. Okay, so we really need to scale it back. We've only got 1200 a minute being produced. 1200 a minute. We've got 10 constructors. It's clearly 120 each, which is 200%, which requires 24 ingots a minute. So that's 24 times 10 is 240. So, whereas these are currently making, we'll go back, no, gotta go more than that. 24 a minute each is 160%. Alright, let's do that then. Let's copy those settings and see if it's posted. No. Left at 160%. Alright, so now I've adjusted them all so that they are now, so we're bringing in way more than we need to. I haven't readjusted the miner yet, we'll do that in a moment. So you can see if I click on that, we need 720 a minute. We've now reduced these to reduce just 72 a minute each requirement, incoming input, to rate 24 a minute, so now creating 240 a minute collectively. Makes the 10 of them. That then feeds into the two levels of constructors, also now reduced down to 160, 200% each. So they require the 24 each basically, and they're producing 120 a minute in a set of each set of each one, so that's 700 total, no 600 total between the 5 of them. Repeat on the next level, so then when you get to the top here and you go into there, you're producing 1200 a minute collectively, and then of that 684 a minute goes out of there, and the remainder goes up to here and is going into storage. So we're going to need a lot of storages. We might even do the double thing. So go that. Out of one into the other. Then build. So we need to go in. And you go in on the top one, and then you go in like that, and then you go that. And the bottom one should be having, yep. So they're stacked to 500, so 4 containers is around 96,000, I think. Yeah, it'd be 24,000 each. So I think that will work. I'm a bit curious as to why some of these are why are they stacking? Might even be more. I think eventually they'll clear. I might just let that run for a bit. Get it back underneath and check how this is all going. So it's going down, down, down. Going this way. Yeah. Core 684. That doesn't need much, I don't believe. Needs 30, so now we should have 684, 654 because it takes off the 30 from there. We're starting with 684. Well, we're starting with probably technically 780, but 684 is what's needed. That needs 50, so now we're left with 654 coming out of here. High speed limiters need 504 a minute, so that's going to leave us with like 60 or something down in here, 150. We're okay. I think this is all working. And obviously the limiters are going to move because I'll be moving their production, so that's easy enough to fix that when we get there. Cool. Okay, it's the circuit board that's keeping that one back, that's fine. Let's go this way. is the last one. This is the iodine infused filters. Double check its production is going alright. Oh, I'm going to end up outside the factory. Where's the door to this one? 100% governance. Alright, that's the first tower built. I'll eventually put the walls up and all the windows and stuff like that, but for the time being we'll just let it do its thing. Hopefully those set of constructors that are not quite flying properly will start to. Yeah, we might have. Yeah, so they're starting to fly out a little bit, I think. So the way this sort of works is because it's the closest to the output, they'll go first. So now it's under 100 and it's under 200, so they'll eventually clear that backlog. Then these two will clear their backlog, and the last one to go will be this guy. That won't take too long to fly through. They'll be back to running 100%. So let me just go back to the miner and change it back to just be 720. Let me just go back to that. And then that'll be the cat and wire, or the Quickwire, done. So then this building can be removed because it's no longer getting anything. Just get that back to 720, which actually doesn't mean I don't need to have the Mark 6 belts on here, so we might just go and put Mark 2 belts, Mark 5 belts back in. Mark 5 belts have a 780 per minute limit, so 720 is within that, so that's cool. So this won't affect the throughput required. Coming in, 720 coming in, going out in the 780 is the overall limit, which is the belt limit. Just go. These will hopefully, again because they're the last in the line and they're feeding into this one, as these all start to clear their backlogs, then they will start to clear their backlogs. So this is just a flow-on effect of changing the output of everything. So at the rate in which this is coming out, so if we were to put a counter on here, just to check that, and likewise we're to put a counter on this output, which is going to the rest of it. Again, that's a mod that's doing that. Oops, I missed it. I completely missed it. So with it producing 720 a minute, with it producing 1200 a minute there, we only need 684 for what's going this way. Should get 684 on that counter, and 1200 minus 684 should appear on that counter. All in. Few either side. So we've got 700 on that, which means we should be getting around... That's probably too high. I'm curious what that's going to come out to be. As I said, it should be 684 is what's actually needed. 388 doesn't say it makes sense because actually that might be right because those other because of the backlog of these ones, so that actually kind of might make sense that that's not quite 100% yet. But that numbers should start to, those numbers should both start to rise. This is an overflow that comes up to the storages, so there's definitely not enough going through to the other, to those area limiters, fuse filters and the high-speed connector, so they're not being underdone. So already that top one's dropped down, so we'll see. Let's just go down to this first level and just check these in ones. So they're under, almost going to 50 now. These will be full, 500 each for these two, and that one will also be full. When this starts to, because that's not running 100% yet, this is running at basically half, that's probably even less. Yep, half again, 42%. So these are running 100%, all these are running at 100%, I should suspect. Yep. 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 Looking at that number there, not that number, so that's the efficiency, that's how close it's running to what it should be running at, which is 120 a minute. In a moment we'll see this start to empty. There it goes. So now it's basically running as you would expect it to. So it'll just run out like that. That's going to be doing the same, so they're now running empty there. Now we'll start to see these ones drop slowly. Again, it'll take a while for it to filter through. So, let that go. Next one I'm going to build is, I will probably think about, now that I've done that building, I will think about the AL limiters to see what I need to do to move them. But, I'll probably leave the cable till last, I suspect. Primarily because there's probably going to be so much of it that I will have to take a while for it to flow out. Let me just figure out what exactly are in these AL limiters again, because there's a fair bit to the AL limiters because it requires the copper ore to make the sheets or something. Then does it make sheets it's making? Yeah. So then goes combined with Quickwire to make the AL emitters. Okay. We could, in fact, we may even be able to make more per minute, but I don't know if I'm going to have the copper ore to do it, so that might be an issue. Although you could consider doing a one of these summer slips, and that'll then double the output of everything. So that might help us produce more limiters, but we'll see. But it's a fairly straightforward setup. I just need to reroute the copper ore that is coming from over there. You can't put a summer slip in a miner, can you? No. That's producing 300, that's producing 300. You see with the fact that it's got nearly stacked up 100 in the backlog, means it's not running 100% because there's not enough pull on the production. It's not. Let me just check that. The copper ore would be going into. Where's it going? Where it's going now. The main one is going to... then obviously the main one is going to is the cable. The other two that come up from the below, they get merged and go up here, which gives us into... Then it gets split. So this is 600. And then that there is going to the wire. There's the wire tower. So there's the wire tower there. Cable tower, sorry. So that makes copper ingots from the copper ore. That gets turned into wire. The wire then gets turned into cable. That's the production line of that. Actually, I'm curious. Is there an alternative one for cable? There might be. There's an alternative one that requires rubber. That's interesting. So it gives you 20 a minute in an assembly making. So I'm making the most at 100%. This one makes just 30. Whereas this one, if I use rubber in its production, I could get 6. I could get a. Oh, okay. We might explore some of these alternative recipes to see if they are a better option. Now they're making so much more Quickwire, even this one's an option, but again it does need rubber. And rubber is a bit of an issue because I'm not making a lot of it. Well, I'm making a lot of it, but it's been used elsewhere, so... Alright, we'll have to think about that one, but it's an option to make this tower maybe a little bit more efficient, or maybe make more of it, we'll see. Yeah, alright, cool. Next thing I'll go back is I will come back and I will have done one of those two towers. But I think that'll be for now. That'll be enough for episode 28. Episode 29 we'll keep going with these rebuilds of the AL limiter and the cable tower. And then we'll get back to looking at what we're going to do with these towers over here. We've basically done everything in terms of the tier 9 production. But as you can see in the top right hand corner, we do need to do 3 more components for the phase 5 for the tower, for the space elevator. So that's probably the next thing I'll start exploring as to what exactly those, what exactly are they? The thing on the right is a ballistic warp drive or something. I think needs the time crystals, is that right? I can't remember. Just double check that. Oh, you said they're using a blueprint designer, by the way. So this one, which is the Mark III design, is exactly my 6x6 floor, which is perfect for these things. So when I created this designer, which is just those constructors for that. What that allows you to do is from your here to build a 5 constructors. This is my setup. I just plonk it down, and I've got the exact setup I want. So it's kind of neat. I didn't think I'd really use them, but it's with the Mark III blueprint designer. It's exactly my floor print. So yeah, that's kind of. I'm probably going to use that more in the future than I was planning to originally. Let's just clear that for a second. And that. So I could even build one that is, 4 constructors down one side and 4 down the other, and have it, that sort of thing. So yeah, there's options there. Anyway, let's go check what these things are. So we've got biochemical sculpture, AI expansion server, and ballistic warp drive. Now the AI expansion thing needs the supervision oscillator and the neuroquantum processor and the magnetic field generator, which I'm making, plus excited photonic matter, which just gets made out of a converter just by magic for something. So I'm actually making all those things. So all 4 have been made. Now that gives me our expansion server 1, I need 256 of those, but it does give me the dark matter residue as an offshoot, which means we might be able to redo and make more dark matter crystals, because they also need dark matter residue plus the diamonds. So I'm thinking that if I do that, if I have that being made, then I can feed that into a dark matter crystal only production line, because that's needed for, well, it's needed for these things, which you can see is basically on track, but more importantly it's needed for the singularity cells, which are made in this guy, and they are for the teleporting that they put into tier 9. We've got a couple of hundred of those, 270 odd, 217 or so. So what I want to have is I want to have them being made in enough quantity, enough throughput, that we can basically build in the central storage hub 4 or 5 of these, allow to transport from the middle central hub, which is basically here, to the desert area, to the swamp area, and back to the coast, Spire coast, then back, and then back to the generators and back, and maybe even that ingot at the way station got there. So that's what I'm wanting to build with that setup. So anyway, let me just check. I just want to curiosity check what this is at. 75%. Okay. At some point I will have to, if I'm going to use tractors to do what to get stuff transported around, I'm going to have to reproduce some sort of fuel here. So I'll have to think about that one at some point. But that'll do for now. Thank you for watching episode 28. Until the next one, thanks for watching. Goodbye.